What's going on, family? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to make a quick video about all of the problems and issues that I have with the cheap C5 Z06. So before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell when you do subscribe so you're notified of the videos that I post. Hit that like button and share the video and leave a comment or two on there as well. All right, let's jump right into it. So there's a few issues that I need to get fixed on this car pretty quickly, okay? Let's jump right into it. These cars have a hydraulic clutch pedal. So at times, and I've seen them on C5 forums and C6 forums, when you're driving it hard, high RPMs, trying to hurry up and push that clutch pedal in and get into the next gear, the clutch pedal gets stuck. Now, you can pull it up and it comes out right away, which is very, very weird. Now, the guy that sold me the car believes that it needs a clutch slave cylinder, but I looked up some videos and it simply says that the clutch fluid needs to be changed. When that clutch fluid gets dirty and you're driving it hard, it gets hot, it expands and it causes issues with the clutch pedal. As a matter of fact, let me jump to a clip in which I lost a race because of the clutch issue. Check this out. All right, so welcome back. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you've had that issue with your Corvette or with your Camaro. The second issue is that about 2,000 RPM, I can be on the street or I can be on the highway and I get this whining noise from the rear differential. Now, that whining noise, I wish it could be a supercharger. That would be great. But it's not, so it's an issue that I need to make sure that I get fixed. Now, the person that I bought the car from believes that the couplers on the torque tube, which for other cars would be the drive shaft, but it's a torque tube on the Corvettes. They are rubber couplers on each side, and the owner I purchased the vehicle from believes that those rubber couplers are going bad. I'm going to try to change the transmission, the rear diff fluid first. It only takes 2 quarts of differential fluid, so that's a cheap fix for me to try, and I'll see what that does. All right, so number 3 is that the Serpentine belt does squeak in the morning when I start it up. Now, I've been driving for a little while today, not long, 10-15 minutes, and so you can't hear it now. Okay, so it sounds fine, but now the engine bay is a little dirty. I got to get it cleaned up before I get any criticism, but it squeaks in the morning. But we all know that that's a cheap fix, right? No big issue. All right, so now let's take it into the interior of the car. There are a few things that are an issue in the car. Nothing that's like really a major concern for me, but let's take a look. So before we get in, you can see that we have rips on the seats there. We have rips on the seats there. I'm not a big color of the red and black, but hey, again, this car was so cheap that I'm willing to deal with those small things. Another issue on the interior is that there should be a heads-up display here. And although it's daytime, it may not be as noticeable on camera, but my heads-up display does not work. Now, I can see it if I look down there, but if I hit the display button to try to get it to show, it does not move for me at all. Now, that's not a deal breaker for me. I'm not too concerned about the heads-up display. It would be nice to use in spirited driving, but I've never had it before, and so it's one of those things where it's not a necessity, but I'm sure if I had it, it would be nice to have. So there are a few trim pieces that are missing. Here I have the plastic piece around the ignition lock cylinder that is missing. Now I do have that here in my hand, as you can see, but I do believe it's broken. This piece here there's a piece that protrudes out of the plastic piece, and it's missing over here. So that's something cheap that I can find. There's the around the radio trim is missing. Again, that's something that I have here. And now this one doesn't look broken, so that is something that I can probably just snap back on somehow. Now I did just notice just now is that there's a hole right here. Okay, I've tried making this video a few times. The first time, for some reason, the sound didn't record. The second time, it was a little dark out, and now I'm doing it my third time. So I'm noticing more and more issues as I go. So now that we've tackled the drivetrain and engine issues, now that we've looked at the interior of the car, let's take a look at the exterior of the car and see what issues the car has on the outside. So this car has a clean Carfax, okay? No accidents at all. However, the last 10,000 miles on this car is missing from the Carfax. Now, I think that it may have been involved in an accident and somehow it was fixed privately, or someone fixed it themselves. Why do I say that? Here's why. Here is the pop-up headlight has a little scratch here. When I first parked the car, that wasn't there. Now the guy that I bought the car from didn't drive it much. He only put a few thousand miles on it, so I doubt he drove it at nighttime. I put 1,000 miles on this car in the first week that I had it. So I drive it a lot. I drive it at nighttime, and so I use the pop-up headlights quite frequently, and that wasn't there when I bought it, but now it is there. So I think someone got into an accident possibly, and everything isn't aligned properly. No biggie for me. Okay, now the other side is doing it a little bit as well, but it's not as bad as the passenger side. Another small thing is that the mesh grill here is pushed in. That could be an indication of an accident as well, and that was something so small that they did not worry about fixing. This is a very, very small issue, is that here there is the clear coat is coming off a bit. You can see it there, you can see it here alone. It almost looks like watermarks, but it is the clear coat missing, and it's just in those small spots. Here's a bigger one here if you can see it, but not bad at all. This car actually has very good paint for its age, so I love it. Going back to the interior, one thing that I did forget to mention is right here. So when I have my window down that time, this little I guess the headliner needs some adhesive added to it, and that way I can get that to stick. Okay, so in all, that's about everything that's wrong with the one more thing, and it may not come on right now, is that when I'm driving, it says that the active handling needs to be serviced. All right, so there it goes there. So active handling, and then it says cruise disengaged. So now the active handling on the Corvette means that when the car thinks you're about to maybe lose control, it applies brake pressure to one of the wheels. Now, when I got the car and I was driving on the highway, I could feel it kind of wiggle in the back, and I didn't know what it was, but now it makes sense. It's applying pressure to just one of those brakes, and I'm going 60 or 70, and so it causes the car to kind of wiggle a little bit. Now, luckily, that hasn't happened when I was racing, but that could be pretty dangerous if it did happen at that time. So that is one thing that I'm going to get looked at. I looked at another video on YouTube, and the gentleman took his car to the Chevy dealership, and it cost him $400 to get it fixed. That's not bad. I may do the same thing, and that way I have paperwork from a dealership that I got that fixed. So if it comes time to resell that car, then that paperwork is a lot more valuable than me saying I did it myself. Okay, so I appreciate you guys joining. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. If you subscribe, make sure that you like the video and leave me a comment below. In fact, if you've had common issues with your Corvette or your Camaro, leave a comment below and let me know what you did to fix the issue. All right, appreciate you guys joining in. You have a wonderful day.